Ala, Assalamu alaikum mpenzi mtazamaji, karibu kwenye kipindi cha leo asubuhi. Tarehe ni 28 mwezi wa Oktoba, Ijumaa hii. Anatumai asubuhi yako iko shwari kabisa, bali hapa pia nasi tuko salama. Sipo peke yangu bali niko na mwenzangu.
Karibuni mtazamaji, kwa jina naitwa Regina Mwanda.
Habari tunazozipa kipaumbele ni kama vile rais awaonya mawaziri wapya. Baada ya kuapishwa kwa mawaziri wapya, rais awataka mawaziri kuwashughulikia wananchi bila kusita. Rais awataka mawaziri kufanya kazi kwa pamoja ili kuwasaidia wananchi katika kazi zijazo.
Kibarua cha mawaziri. Baada ya kuapishwa kwa mawaziri hao, baadhi ya mawaziri wamepoteza zao na kuanza kazi mara moja. Baadhi ya mawaziri hao ni kama Linturi, Kuria. Mawaziri wengine wanatarajiwa kuingia ofisini hapo kesho.
Mashaka ya mwangaza. Mkazi wa Meru atoa malalamishi kumwondoa gavana Mwangaza katika ofisi yake, na ya kwamba amekiuka katiba za uongozi.
Maafisa zaidi wa SSU wazuiliwa. Maafisa Joseph Mwenda, David Chepcheng, Stephen Lesenu, Paul Njogu na Paul Kigonyo walifikishwa mbele ya hakimu mkuu baada ya kuhojiwa siku nzima na mauaji ya Marai ya Wahindi wawili na dereva wao. Maafisa hao hata hivyo hawakushtakiwa, kwani upande wa mashtaka umeomba uchunguzi katika siku 30.
Hasara. Katika habari za kusitikisha, kule Keses mjini Eldoret, zinasemekana ya kwamba mwanamume mmoja ameripotiwa kumuua mwanamke aliyedaiwa kuwa mke wake. Alimdunga visu mara kadhaa, baadaye kujirusha katika kisima.
Hasara. Habari za kusitikisha. Mzigo wa mkato.
Wakenya itabidi wagharimike zaidi kuchangia katika kumsaidia rais kutimiza manifesto yake. Rais Ruto pia ataka CDF kurejeshwa, mkato mpya kuongeza manukato ya NSSF. Mchango kuongezwa kwa 6%. Wakenya wanaopata mshahara wa shilingi 50,000 wanatakiwa kuchangia 5,000 kila mwezi, huku wale wanaopata mshahara wa 100,000 wanatarajiwa kuchangia 6,000. Vile kama unapata mshahara wa 1,250, kuwa tayari kulipa NSSF 15,000.
Dunia na mambo yake. Mzee azikwa akiwa amekatika katika kijiji kimoja kule Kolomoni. Mazishi ya mzee Moses Amalasi aliaga dunia akiwa na miaka 91. Kulingana na wazee, sio kila mtu kuzikwa namna hiyo, ambayo kulingana na hiyo ni hadhi juu.
Naam, Bi Regina, tukirudia katika habari zetu za kwanza pale, tunapata kwamba Rais Ruto awaonya mawaziri wake wapya na kueleza kwamba wawe tayari kufanya kazi bila kusita, na wakati wowote ambapo wanafanya kazi zao wasiwe na utatanishi wowote, kwa sababu wakilegea kazini atapambana nao vilivyo. Wewe waona aje katika habari hizi?
Kwanza kabisa pongezi kwa ambao walio kuwa nominated na rais wetu. Lakini naona kwamba kiapo ilichofanywa wataingia katika kazi, na tunatumai kuwa watafanya kazi iwezekanavyo. Watahudumia Wakenya kulingana na vile walivyo chukua kiapo na kulingana na kazi ambazo watapewa.
Na mtazamaji, kama unavyosikia pale kutoka kwa Bi Regina, ametueleza kwamba amewapongeza wale mawaziri wote ambao wameingia kwenye kinyang'anyiro hiki, na anaomba kwamba watie fora katika kazi zao na wawe tayari kuwasaidia Wakenya kwa jumla. Katika habari zetu za pili tulipata kwamba mawaziri hawa wana kibarua kigumu sana, na hata rais alisema wataweza kulala, aliposema kwa Kiingereza they will be sleeping very late katika kazi zao, kwa sababu anataka kazi zifanywe na zifanywe kwa umakinifu kabisa.
Naona kuwa ni bayana alivyowaambia kuwa kazi itakuwa mingi. Manake we saw the former cabinet secretaries waliacha kazi ya kufanywa, na sasa wale ambao wameingia sasa wana kibarua sasa ya former work that was left, alafu sasa kazi ambayo ni mpya ambayo watapewa kuhudumia wana Kenya.
Naam, katika habari zetu za tatu ni mashaka ya mwangaza. Tunapata kwamba kuna mkazi mmoja kule Meru ataka Mwangaza ajitoe katika kiti chake cha ofisi, kwa sababu inasemekana amekuwa akitumia kiti chake vibaya, na kwa vile tunajua kwamba alimpa mume wake cheo pale katika ofisi yake na haitakikani vile. Na tunaona kwamba mkazi huyo alisema amekiuka sheria za katiba. Wakubaliana na mkazi huyu kusema kwamba Mwangaza ajitoe katika ofisi yake?
Nakubaliana, manake niliposema juzi katika uchambuzi wa Daily Nation, nilisema kwamba the MCAs we had seen them walikuwa wanasema kwa muda kiasi, kwa muda utakaokuja the governor will be impeached because huyu governor hawaeki katika mjadiliano wa vile watakavyofanya kazi ya county. You know, she's not involving the MCAs, she's not involving the people who are supposed to work with. Kwa hivyo tunaona kuwa Governor Mwangaza anafanya kazi kulingana na maoni yake na wili yake. Hataki kufanya kazi kulingana na the rule of the people and the rule of the county. So naona kuwa mkazi alichosema inafaa, because hata mimi ningeulizwa ningesema Governor Mwangaza anafaa kukuwa impeached. Kwa sababu kutoka ingie katika ofisi akona kiburi mingi, hataki kuhusisha wengine katika kazi, anafanya kulingana na vile anajisikia na haifai.
Kama wewe ni mkazi wa Meru, je, ungekubaliana na mkazi huyo? Unaona kwamba Mwangaza ameamua kwamba hataki kuongoza jinsi ambavyo wakazi wanataka, na inasemekana amekiuka sheria za katiba jinsi ya kuongoza kaunti yake. Naam, katika habari za tano ambazo tumezipa kipaumbele siku ya leo ni hasara, ambapo pale tunaelekea sehemu za Keses mjini Eldoret, ambapo tunaona kwamba mwanaume wa miaka 30 alimuua mwanamke aliyesemekana walikuwa wapenzi wa miaka 40, ambapo inasemekana mwanaume huyo aliuza shamba na alikuwa ameuza shamba hizo ili ampeleke mwanamke huyo ili waanzishe vyumba vya burudani kule Keses, lakini mwanamke huyo akatoroka na pesa zake, na kutokana na mzozogo huo ilisemekana kwamba mwanaume huyo alienda akamdunga visu mara kadhaa, kisha mwanaume huyo akaenda akajirusha ndani ya kisima. Wachukuliaje kuhusu habari hizi?
Kwa maoni yangu naona kuwa kweli ni hasara. Manake kulikuwa na mzozano wa shamba, na badala ya huyu mwanaume kudeal nayo vile inafaa, alienda akamdunga kisu. So we see now there is a loss of lives for two people, ambayo sasa ni hasara. Watu wawili washakwenda. Naonelea kuwa sasa katika huu mzozano, huyu mwenye shamba angeenda tu ripoti hii kesi, iendelezwe vizuri. Huyu naye kama atapatwa akiwa mshukiwa, then I can sentence. Instead now of killing this person and then killing himself.
Tunaona kwamba mwanaume alikuwa na miaka midogo sana kushinda mwanamke, kwa sababu mwanaume alikuwa na miaka 30 bali mwanamke alikuwa na miaka 40, na wanasema walikuwa wapenzi. Je, wafikiria kweli lilikuwa penzi ama lilikuwa mambo ya biashara peke yake?
Hatuna habari za kutosha. You know, we cannot judge from what we are being told, lakini naonelea maybe ilikuwa mapenzi. Manake sioni vile unaweza ua mtu alikuwa mpenzi wako kwa sababu ya shamba. But we have seen formally people kill each other because of family matters, mashamba hivi. Inaweza kuwa walikuwa wapenzi, hatujui.
Na mtupe usia wako mpenzi mtazamaji, utueleze waonaje kuhusu habari hizi ambazo mwanaume huyu wa miaka 30 alimuua mpenzi wake wa miaka 40. Habari tulizozipa pia kipaumbele siku hii ya leo ni kuhusu mzigo wa mkato, ambapo Rais William Ruto amesisitiza kwamba itabidi watu kuchangia pesa zaidi ili kutimiza manifesto yake, ambapo alisema kwamba kama kwa Kiingereza, if you are earning 50,000 you have to pay 5,000 per month. If you are paying 100,000 you have to pay 6,000 per month, and if you are earning 250,000 you have to pay approximately 10,000. And na hii imewapa sana wa Kenya kusema kwamba rais alipoingia alikuwa amesema kwamba yeye mwenyewe atashughulikia mwenyewe kuhusu kuboresha maisha ya watu, hata pesa zitarudi vizuri. Lakini sasa tunaona kwamba amesema kwamba itabidi tena Wakenya waendelee kutoa pesa zaidi ili ushuru zaidi ili kuboresha manifesto yake. Wachangiana na mambo yenye ambayo Uhuru mwenyewe Rais alisema.
Kwanza kabisa naona kuwa rais kuambia wananchi walipe maybe 10%, kwa sababu vile naona ni kama alichukua 10% of the salary wananchi watakuwa wanapata. Naona kwamba anawafinyilia, manake angeiweka kwa ambao wako serikalini, manake wanapata mshahara mkubwa. But you cannot tell a common mwananchi to give 10% of what they are earning na hujui mahitaji yao. I think that is oppressing Kenyans, because the same Kenyans ndio watalipa ushuru, tax, and then sasa wanaongezewa ingine ya 10%. I think hii story ya 10% kwa salary angeiweka kwa wanasiasa, the MPs, the governors, because they really get a lot of money in month.
Alisema kwamba wale ambao ni wadosi ambao wanaishi hadi za kijuu, hao ndio watakuwa kilipa zaidi.
Wanalipa zaidi ya salary.
Wanalipa zaidi kushinda wale ambao wenye wako kiwango cha chini.
Naona iko sawa, manake itasaidia country kuleta chini deni ambayo tuko nayo, and then the economy is still lower. So I think it's a good thing for those who are higher to help the country pay those debts.
Naam, katika habari za kunishangaza tunaelekea kule Ikolomani, ambapo inasemekana mzee mmoja alizikwa akiwa ameketi. Na niliposikia habari hizi nilicheka kwanza, kwa sababu nilishangaa tangu lini utapata mtu aliyekufa anazikwa kama ameketi. Na nilipofanya uchambuzi wangu nilipata kwamba wanasema kwamba mzee huyo alikuwa wa hadhi ya juu, walikuwa wanamzika kwa heshima yake, na hata wakati wanapoenda kumweka kwenye sanduku lake ilisemekana kwamba mzee mmoja, sio mzee yoyote tu, bali kuna mzee mmoja tu anafaa enda ongea na yeye, ataongea naye, kisha maiti huyo atakuwa akizungumza na yeye atakuwa anajikunja vile vile ili waende wamweke kwenye kiti hicho. Na wanapomzika basi wanamzika akiangalia nyumba yake, ili familia yake ikuwe inaonekana vizuri. Na wewe unaonaje kuhusu habari hizi? Ni tamaduni ama ni mambo tu ya dunia ambayo yanachekesha tu, yanashangaza watu?
Kweli ni dunia na mambo yake. Wanapeana reason ya kumzika mzee huyu akiwa ameketi ni kwa sababu alikuwa na hadhi ya juu. So they thought burying him when he's seated it's giving him honor. Lakini mimi naonelea kwamba hata akizikwa akiwa ameketi na ambao pia wamezikwa akiwa wamelala, wote ni wafu na wote wataoza. Kisha
nilisikia kwamba mzee mmoja alipokuwa anahojiwa alisema kwamba sehemu zake za siri basi zitakuwa zikiangalia juu ili kizazi kiendelee. Kizazi kiendelee. Na niliona kwamba yenyewe kila mahali kila mtu ana utamaduni wake, na wanawake hawawezi zikwa vivyo hivyo, bali ni mwanaume tu, na ni mwanaume ambaye ana hadhi ya juu zaidi.
Basi hizo tutazisema ni tamaduni za Wakolomani. Manake katika community yetu we don't do that. So nitasema tu ni tamaduni zao, vile wanaona inafaa, then let them do it.
Na mpenzi mtazamaji, hizo ndio zilikuwa habari zetu ambazo tulizipa kipaumbele siku hii ya leo ya Ijumaa tarehe 28. Basi usitoke papo hapo, bali baada ya kumeza mate naenda kukutana na wachambuzi wa gazeti ambapo wapo njiani. Baada ya muda msio mchache tutakuwa nao na tutachambua gazeti kwa umakinifu. Nilikuwa wako Emmanuel Onyango,
Regina Mwangi.
Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert Osoro. Remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romy TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert Osoro. Remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romy TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert Osoro. Remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romy TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
welcome dear viewer, welcome back again. Now here are my guests, the newspaper historians themselves. Let me just let them introduce themselves, starting from my right.
I'm Dr. Robert Osoro, the political analyst.
And on my left.
I'm Ambassador Dr. Nyaumbo, political analyst.
And on our first story, we turn our attention to the president, whereby yesterday we saw that the cabinet secretaries were already sworn in, and some of them even started work. And the president said that he does not want lazy people on their line of duty. And do you think that the president says this when he means that if you mess up, he's going to deal with you accordingly? Starting you with Mr.
I think one of the things that which I could like to say, number one, I could like to appreciate the president because what he's doing, he means it. And I'm trying to imagine that he had given Kenyans a lot of promises. And the time has already gone with a number of things that which he promised. Like he promised that the maize flour will be decreasing in terms of price, but when he came back, he said that they sat with the maize millers, realized that the prices cannot go down, but the only solution is to give out the fertilizers that which will enable Kenyan for a long-term solution. But again, after a month ago, he came back again and he said that let's forget about depreciating the prices of unga because that is a plan over here. Number one, the first thing is it shows that he lied to Kenyans when he was campaigning. But and again, he seems to be a man that go means of his words. But now the action part is what we have not seen. As much as he promised and he said that one thing I would like to see from you as cabinet secretary is work. But we saw even the last time when he was the deputy president, and that time people used to say that he had no power, he was the deputy president. But this time round, he's the head of state, is the head of operations,
Yeah.
and we are expecting his promises that he gave yesterday to be fulfilled. However, I believe that he will be serious this time round, and he will ensure that all the cabinet secretaries will fulfill and achieve whatever that they have promised to Kenyans. Yeah.
Yes, Daktari, let me ask you this question.
Well,
Yeah, the president selected Mr. Moses Wetangula to be the prime cabinet secretary. Do you think the position that he had given Mr. Musalia Mudavadi is to help him deal with the current cabinet secretaries, or is just a matter of loyalty to him for giving him votes during the time for political campaign?
first, I'd like to say that the Prime Cabinet Secretary was very unconstitutional, and it remains to be unconstitutional because in our current constitution, it doesn't appear anywhere.
And apart from being appearing, is the man that who came up and fought against it when the Prime Minister, and the former President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta,
So we
they were
should say
trying
that,
to bring it up.
So we should say that Musalia Mudavadi is just the Prime Minister of Kenya.
It is an illegal thing that
And constitutionally, it does not, we don't have that position. It is only, those are the internal plannings of themselves.
But I'm asking myself, why didn't he give Musalia Mudavadi a docket like the treasury and all that?
Yeah.
Because we've seen Musalia Mudavadi earlier on matters economics and finance,
Exactly.
management. He is a good admin. And when you look at it, Musalia Mudavadi is not a politician. Musalia Mudavadi is an administrator.
Correct.
So, having him as a prime cabinet secretary, for God's sake, that is a position that we don't have in Kenya. But now that they have created it, I'm looking back to parliamentarians, if they will allow it constitutionally, and again, now that he is even sworn in, that means
Already
the amendment of the constitution has been done by just a word of mouth, without even involving people and public participation in the same. So now that it has,
because they have numbers in parliament,
yeah.
and of course money talks, that is something that even if they take it to parliament so that they can amend that in the constitution, of course it will pass. Because you see that, like when Maronza was rejected, but through parliament,
they brought the name back.
They put the name back. That means if what they were doing before, it had no meaning. They could have even, just as they were appointed, they could have been just...
But again, we'd like to tell Kenyans that a constitution is not a piece of paper that you can just wake up in the morning and draft something, pass it the way you want. It has a process. It has to pass through a referendum. So now that this has come, I don't even understand where the people in parliament got the energy to even vet someone for a position that is not even existing.
Let me cut you short. We are seeing a matter whereby we saw that there are some cabinet secretaries who had cases, and even before the vetting began, it was said that they are going to do a very serious vetting, and those who have cases cannot be allowed into the cabinet. But all of a sudden we see that all the 24 cabinet secretaries, no one has been rejected. For example, Malonza was said that she's not good enough for that particular work, but now we see her there. We saw that the members of parliament said that Aisha Jumwa and Thika Linturi were not supposed to be in that part, but all of a sudden we see them inside the cabinet secretaries and even started their work immediately. Is that a correct thing to do?
When I look at that, I think we back to the Moi era, where the president could just do anything he feels. Now, the report could have come from parliament rejecting these people not to hold positions, because you understand that these people have a problem, these people have graft cases, these people are corrupt. But now that they are in the government, I think it's a way that the president is working, and his working is really difficult, because for a person like me, you can't convince me that the president is right in his working. The president is not right in his administration. The thing is that tumerudi kwa ile era kabisa ya Moi. Wakati ungepewa kazi na unaambiwa hata ukitoka tu kazini hivi unaambiwa we leta ufunguo, na driver wako anakuambia shuka chini, anaenda kubeba mtu mwingine kama minister. That one is what we think, because competency is key in every administrative post.
Yeah.
And also the process is very important,
Yeah.
because we cannot go back to the era of Moi, whereby things used to be worked in the corridors.
Yeah.
And we need things to be done in justice, kwa sababu tumeona mambo mingi kitendeka kwa njia ambayo sio ya haki. Kwa mfano, wakati rais alikuwa anateua au watu naita kama mawaziri, ingekuwa vyema, ndio nafahamu kwa au tunafahamu kwa aliweza kusema mara ya kwanza kwa atateua watu ambao walikuwa katika upinzani. Lakini wakati kama huu ile kuonesha kuwa yeye ni Mkenya kweli na vile anasema yeye atatendea kila mmoja kazi, angeenda beyond the boundaries of the political parties differences. Na aweze kuchagua mawaziri kutoka pande sote, whether they voted for him or not, whether they were in his party or not. Hii ingeonesha kuwa rais anamaanisha anayoyasema kuwa ameteua watu hata kutoka opposition side na wamekuwa mawaziri. Lakini tukiangalia watu wote aliofanya kuwateua ni watu ambao walikuwa katika Kenya Kwanza. Na hiyo ilikuwa hata mpango aliokuwa akiufanya wakati kesi ilikuwa katika kotini, ambao wa kununua hao wabunge, kununua ma-MCA, kununua magavana, ma-senators, kwa sababu alijua kuwa kwa sababu hata wewe ukijua ndio ameteuliwa kama rais, lazima ukae na yeye ndio azikuja kukuhujumu katika ile mipango yako. And because of that, he did what he could do to make sure that he has put all of them, to have the numbers in parliament, to have the numbers in Senate. And that's why when they were voting for the majority leader in parliament and in Senate, he knew that already he had put them. And starting from there, you will realize that there was a case in court that the opposition side, or the Azimio la Umoja, had majorities in parliament. But now, when we come practicality, the Kenya Kwanza had the majority, but constitutionally, they did not have, because there's an agreement they had signed. The team like Alfred Mutuan, his part and his affiliates, and
The Amazon
King.
Yeah.
Now, physically they were in Kenya Kwanza, but constitutionally they were in the other party. But because he had the numbers and the money and everything, that's why he won. So, we are seeing that the coming days, on how Kenya is going to be governed. We are being taken back to 19's era of Moi. And that will make Kenyan to suffer more than they never thought. And many people are going to cry for Uhuru, who used to say that Uhuru had betrayed them and actually had not worked for them. But this is the time that they will remember him. I saw people who were wishing him a birthday on the other day, saying that we will keep remembering you. We thought that you were the bad person, but we have come to realize that you did well. That's what I can say.
Well, that takes me back to the president's work and administration. That means that the president did what we call regional imbalance. For instance, when we look at some regions, kuna yale ambayo hakutimiza. Kwa mfano, alipokuwa anaenda on these economic forums, he could not even advocate for something. And when he has now gotten to power, he left the economic forums that he could have. And now, when we talk about the incompetence that you just mentioned, the president could have just looked at everything in a different perspective. This is now taking us back. This is now taking the country back. This is now bringing something that I can call the country is getting into a certain place that we don't even know. I don't have trust in my country. I don't have confidence in my president. So, do I stay in Kenya or I get out of Kenya? And I remember people could say, wakati Ruto atakuwa rais, tutatoka Kenya. naona nikiwa mmoja wao. Yes.
Now let me cut you short.
Yeah.
Dear viewers, you see that it's getting hot in here. Everyone is just looking forward to see what the cabinet secretaries are going to do at the moment. Talk to us, communicate to us to all social media pages, Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, and even on YouTube. And let me turn my attention when the president, during his first speech, when he was being sworn in, he said that the first job he's going to do is to take care of the situation whereby we have a lot of people looting money, the people who come to the government and steal and even ending up stealing money from the government. At the moment, we see that the cabinet secretaries, we have a cabinet secretary whereby he has a graft charge, but he ended up being inside the government. Do you think the president, when he was saying those words, did he mean it? Because we see now at the moment, we have one of them, the person who is supposed to take care of that situation of graft charges and even murder cases. He has not taken care of it.
I'm thinking that what the president that was saying, is a man that is a man. I don't know whether I would say that he has done political science and psychology. That because you have come to learn that Kenyans don't need to hear what they are supposed to be told, but Kenyans want to hear what they need to hear. And once as politicians, because one time I was there when I was campaigning, I tried to campaign to be the member of parliament on my area. I was using the genuine ways, telling them that if you elect me, I will be doing this, I will be doing this, I will be doing this. But I realized that Kenyans needed to hear so that I can lie to them. That if you elect me, my salary will be coming, this will be doing this. And that is what the president used, because when he was campaigning, the first thing that which he was saying, he said that he is going to deal with the judiciary, he's going to deal with corruption, he's going to deal with the economy, among others. But starting from the first thing that he has already escaped, when he said that this government is going to be built by the common mwananchi, by the mama mboga, by the boda boda. But in this cabinet, we have not seen anybody. These guys go at boda boda. A number of them, some 5 years ago, 10 years ago, they were my students in the university. Some of them have degrees, have masters, as much as you see them riding the boda boda. Know that they have not gone to school. And that does not mean that when they are riding boda boda, they cannot be able to represent us in the government. Or on the cabinet department. But we have not seen any, even the one that we saw, he went with them in IPC, the one that when he was in Nyayo Stadium, nobody has been appointed as the CS. That's number one. Number two, he promised that the youth are going to get the youth empowerment funds. But when he came up, he said that hakuna pesa ya bure. Hii pesa hakuna, serikali gani itakupea pesa bure. Then after 2 days he came back and said that this program is going to be initiated on December. But when he was actually campaigning, he had promised that immediately he gets to the seat, that's what he's going to work on.
Okay.
And another third thing that which he had promised is about unga, is about to make sure that the economy, we try to stabilize it. But we have seen that since he was elected, a number of things have been increasing in terms of price, like fuel. Some of us nowadays, we are not using our vehicles. We are actually using matatu because of the fuel. A number of things that which he promised have not worked. But one thing that which he did to ensure that has protected him is the judiciary. Because the first thing, as he was sworn in, he went to State House and he appointed his own 6 judiciaries, judges. That means he defended himself from there, because the only way you can get him out is through court.
Exactly.
So I think the politicians, what they are doing is their personal gain. Because Mudavadi, I don't think whether it's Mama Mboga, when he was declaring his wealth is 4 billion. People like the speaker, the former speaker of parliament, who is now going to be the Attorney General, the people like Musalia Mudavadi, the people like Aisha Juma, who has cases in court, people like the deputy president, who has cases of corruption. How can you fight corruption and you are one of them there.
Exactly.
You see, I don't mean this that I'm against of any government. Of course, where the president has done well, you normally hear in my political talks, I appreciate him. But one thing that we need to see the president doing is to act on the word that which he spoke when he was sworn in and when he was campaigning. Let him mean what he had said. Yeah.
Now let me cut you short.
Well,
Dr.
yeah. I think at first I'd say that the president himself is corrupt. And if he gets this message, he should know that he is corrupt. Let's tell the government the reality. Let's talk it as it is. Because there is no way that you can allow people who have graft cases in your government or in your administration, if you don't follow the right legal channel. The thing that the president could have done is awarding the people or the lawyers onto competency. I have always seen the president in many cases, watu wanasema Ruto ni mwisi. Even the former president said, I can't hand over the government to mwizi. But again, against all odds, what happened is that the president had to transit power to him because the IBC made people to believe that he won the majority vote. And when I look at this, the president is not going to do what he is required to do. The president in his administration, he has already shown us that whatever he is going to do will be anything that he himself wants.
Yeah.
When I look at the cabinet secretaries, when I look at the people that he has appointed, these are people who have issues and a lot of things that they are involved in. When someone corrupt is in the government, he will be defending corrupt leaders. There is no way that he's going to get out and say, this one was supposed to be done in this way, or this is the right way to work, when he himself knows that the people he has appointed are incompetent. Let the president come out, tell Kenyans that now the government that we are in is the government of looting. And the reason why he might have given these people the positions is because they need money for 2027's campaign. They need to lie to Kenyans that they are going to do better things as from 2027.
Yeah.
The same case that we saw Gachagua getting to the public, getting to the podium and telling Kenyans that we have inherited a dilapidated economy from the former president. This is the same lie that he's going to come with 2027, telling us that we could never work on this, we could never follow what we did because we had first to amend the holes that were in the government.
And again, maybe to take over from Daktari,
Yes.
of something that which you have said, of course, I see the director showing us the time has gone out. Again, we cannot crucify the president because of the time that which has been given. We have the problem with the president is the promises that which he was giving, but whereby he knew that it was not easier, because this economy, for any country to grow in terms of economically, we must build roads, we must create the manufacturing industries, and in terms of like hospitals, in terms of like power, to help people to have power and all. But now, when the deputy president knew very well that this has to take place in order the country economy to grow, and we had the Russian war that actually affected the whole world, not only in Kenya. People are crying in Tanzania people are crying in Uganda and in other countries. So the president knew very well, but now he's crucified based on the promises that he was giving. But it was very difficult to get to the president's seat and immediately start changing things. Like, for instance, lowering the prices of unga. This is something that has taken longer, because when you lower the prices of unga, you will imagine that the mesmiras also, they need money to be paid. Yeah. That means you must pay them that whatever they need, so that to lower, and that is what the deputy president came out and said, that when they sat down and tried to negotiate with them, they realized that the money they were needed, they were more, that it's rather they use it in manufacturing industry in terms of like agricultural, so that they can have a long-term solution. And also we had another issue of the climate change that has happened almost for 5 years. Most of parts of the country, especially in East Africa and Kenya, have not been able to harvest well. So those are the long-term challenges that we have been having. 5 years is not lesser years.
But again, to cut you short, I don't think whether the president is right in the subsidy of fertilizer. Yes, it might be a long-term solution, but look at Kenya. Where do we do our agriculture? Where do we plant our plantations? What do we do as Kenyans? People are lazy now, going to the farms, farming. They don't want such a thing. And again, in Kenya nowadays, when a country's population rises, you don't expect people to have food. You should invent other mechanisms, because the farms that these people could be using in farming, some of them have been used by these people, utilized in other activities. So, coming with a long-term solution is something that he should sit down and think about. And again, you should never lie to Kenyans that I'm going to do this in these days, and when you know well that when you get to power, this is not the thing that you're going to do.
No, yeah, the issue is, sometimes I will blame us Kenyans who voted for them, because it's like when the politician realizes that we don't need to hear what is supposed to hear, but we need to hear what we want to hear. That's when they come with it, because the president, of course, knew very well that all this to happen must take like a year. And that's the truth. Of course, the president is just crucified because of the promises he gave, but if he could have come out and say, for sure, once I get to the government, give me like 5 years, we'll be able to do, give me 1 year, we'll be able to do this and this and this. But because politics, you have to spoil someone's name, you have to say evil of someone to allow you to get into power, because it's very difficult that you get to the power, immediately you lower the prices of unga, immediately you change the economy of the country. Even when Moi Kibaki got to power, the first 5 years from 2002 to 2007, economy did not grow immediately. Yet it took time for like Thika Road to be constructed, and some other parts of the country roads, like I remember the Nyanza roads and the central roads and the other parts. And through those roads, because of the transportation of the import of like vehicles, foods and other stuffs. That's how we, as a country, we can make money. Like now, people came out, especially the opposition team, I can say now, who are the government, and say that the president, the former president, has done a mistake, like he could have not taken like Mombasa Road and other roads to be the first priorities. But I will assure you, someone like me who have been in States for many years, I've been in Dubai for many years, the roads and the constructions of roads that they have is what have given them money, is what have made the economy to be stable. Because the roads that we see today here, these roads, 2 years coming, 5 years coming, 10 years coming, we might not enjoy the benefits of them right now, but our children are going to enjoy them. And what we are building right now is the future of our generation. So the only way I'm not getting in line with the president, who is William Ruto, is the promises that he gave of a
So,
short term that he could have given them in a medium or a long term, so that he could make the mind of a common mwananchi to be aware that even if he's getting to the president's seat, these things are not going to happen on overnight.
So
They're
that
going to
means
take time.
we as Kenyans elected a dishonest leader.
One thing I can say, not like a dishonest, but what I mean, we did not reason ourselves. We did not call for a meeting for ourselves and try to reason what they are telling us. Because as any politician must use statistics, must use psychology to win a seat. As you know that campaigning is very expensive. Campaigning is about the calculations of now you are going to influence people. It's about influencing. That's what I can say. Yeah.
Now, let me cut you short. We can see that the director is showing us that time has gone, and we have heard a lot from you people. Do you have any sentiment to say before we come to the end of the show?
Okay, thank you so much, our host, and thank you so much for the opportunity that you've given me today to address the nation. So I'd want to tell Kenyans that this time we made a mistake as Kenyans. We needed a leader who could say whatever that we wanted to hear. And again, we never took charge in the presidency. We never even believed in what we could want in the next few years. Now that this has happened, yes, Ruto is our president, we have to accept, and the country must grow. We don't have time to criticize him, but again, we should be telling him the reality. We should be telling the president what has happened and how he has ruined and raped our economy. Now the thing is, we as Kenyans, we need to work extra hard. We need to get out. We need to believe in what we never believed. We need to work on the arithmetic that we have never thought about. We need to secure a country and a future for our next generation, for our children, for our daughters, for our sons. So let's get out, let's work, and let's give it our best.
Daktari?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. But one thing that which I would like to speak to our Kenyan that who is watching, the first thing I would like to, and again, thank all the people that who were elected and appointed as the cabinet secretaries. Of course, a number of them we have seen, whereby I'm trying to imagine that it's not about PR, but we have seen them promising to be working for Kenyans, from the Minister for Agriculture. We saw him yesterday when he took charge. He said that he's going to work tirelessly, day and night, and where the economy is, he needs to work overnight. And yesterday he said that today we'll be traveling to Kitale to open the agricultural show that which will be taking place there. We saw also Moses Kuria. Of course, I know Moses Kuria. I've worked with him, the sisters Kambans in Dubai when he was working there in economic department. Is a very nice guy, and he has if he can put politics aside and mean to work, I know that he's going to do it. And again, we saw Pap Namwamba people are saying that he was in that docket in the previous government, but he has the power, he has what it takes to ensure that our sports are not going to, in Kenya, not going to encounter what we encountered, like we saw one of our athletes missing a visa and even a flight and many things that which were happening. But because I know Papa Namwamba is a man that could like sports and is a man that could dedicate it, and he's a serious guy, by the way, when we leave the politics aside, I know that he's going to do it. So let's give these guys a chance and see them, let's give them a year. Of course, I know that when you get to a new office, many things are not in a position. And again, I want to tell Kenyans that we must move out as Kenyans, as an individual. Success is about individual, change is about an individual. Let's move out, let's work, let's ensure that every day we have something to count that which you have done. And again, to our president, I will say that let him also try to reason to this common mwananchi, this mama mboga, this boda that he promised that they will be in the government. But let's take more time to reason from them. He said he's an hustler number one. Let's him know that what the Kenyans are going through, and at the moment when we say that we're going to lower the prices of unga a year coming, I don't see it meaningful, because we can't leave our people to die. If there's something that you need to make Kenyans not to miss, is food. Because once you miss food, you will not have energy, you will not even have the next move on the next thing that you're going to do. You can also follow me on all my social media platforms at Dr. Robert Osoro. Thank you.
Your social media handles?
At Ambassador Dr. Nyaumbo, at Ambassador Nyaumbo, at Honorable Dr. Nyaumbo.
Well, thank you so much, dear viewer, for giving us your time. This was Romy TV Africa. Make sure you subscribe to our channel at YouTube, Romy TV Africa, Twitter, Romy TV Africa, Facebook, and also talk to us via WhatsApp. I was your host, Emmanuel Onyango. Follow me on my social media pages, Instagram, OT_Eno, and on Twitter also, likewise, OT_Eno. That was our time. Thank you so much for,
thank you, sir,
for this time.
Thank you.
Let's meet here next week, same time, same place.
Alright, welcome once again to Desmond Show on What Is Your Story with Dr. Robert Osoro. Remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romy TV Africa.